In question number 11, it says, find combinations of two or more regular shapes that will fit together to tile the plane without gaps or overlaps. So here, actually, they are talking about tessellations. Tessellation is basically to cover a plane without gaps or overlaps. And for regular shapes or for regular polygons to tessellate together, the angles around one point must add up to 360 degrees. Let me show you some patterns where we will see that how regular polygons can be fit together without gaps or overlaps. So you can see in this figure, there are three triangles, regular polygons basically, and two squares, and they are meeting at one point. So at this point, the sum of all angles should be 360 degrees. So look that all the angles in the regular triangle should be 60 degrees. And similarly in square, we know that the angle should be 90 degrees. And similarly here, 90 degrees. So now if we add these angles, we get 360 degrees. So that is why these shapes can tessellate together. Now we will observe one more pattern. In this pattern, again, we have used three triangles and two squares, but in different form, and still they are tessellating. Like we can join them and we will see the tessellation pattern without gaps or overlaps. Now we will observe one more pattern. In this pattern, we can see that again, the angle at this point is 360 degrees because each triangle has angle 60 degrees because of the regular triangle. And we know that in regular hexagon, the angle should be 120 degrees. Like the size of each interior angle is 120 degrees. And now if we add these angles, we will get 360 degrees. So similarly, we can think about other patterns where the sum of the angles at one point becomes 360 degrees, and then we will be able to tessellate together. Now in B part, they want us to research Schlafly tessellations. By the way, this pronunciation is a bit difficult, but let's call it Schlafly tessellations. So basically, Schlafly symbol describe a regular tessellation. Means here we will see, we will not only use the regular polygons, but we will also see the regular tessellation. Like before I was describing the tessellation, here I have shown you some patterns, but these patterns are not regular tessellations. Now we will use the same regular polygons to complete the tessellation pattern. So let me show you first pattern. So look, I have used 6 triangles to complete the tessellation pattern because you can see that the point where all of these regular polygons are being met, we can see 360 degrees angle over there. Similarly, I can show you one more. So these are all squares. And again, we can see there is sum, which is 360 degrees at this point. And how do we describe regular tessellation? We actually write down in this form like P and Q, where P represents the number of sides of each polygon and Q represents the number of polygons meeting at one vertex. So let's describe the Schlafly tessellations. So here, P should be the sides of each polygon, means number of sides of each polygon. So we have 3 sides in each polygon. And number of polygons we have used are 6. Similarly here, each polygon has 4 sides and 4 polygons are being used over there. So this is how we describe Schlafly tessellations. Now let's proceed to next question. In question number 12, the diagram shows a concave hexagon. Concave hexagon or concave polygon is a special type of polygon where at least one angle, one interior angle should be more than 180, means it should be reflex angle. So at least one angle should be reflex angle. So in A part, is it true that the sum of the interior angles of an n-sided concave polygon is n minus 2 times 180? So yes, it is true. Like this situation holds true for all type of polygons. Either polygons are concave or convex. In B part, they want us to investigate the exterior angles of concave polygons. Can you find a general rule? So yes, there is a general rule for all types of polygons that the sum of exterior angles should be 360 degrees. Concave polygons, some exterior angles may be negative or reflex. like greater than 180 degrees if we measure internally for indentation, but still their sum will be 360 degrees at the end. Now let's proceed to next question. In question number 13, it says ABCDE is a regular polygon with n sides. Like we don't know the number of sides here. Write an expression for the size of angle ACD in terms of n. So let me show you a regular polygon. By the way, it will not be a complete polygon because we don't know the number of sides here. So I have just shown some of its sides to write or to figure out the expression of the size of for the size of angle ACD. So first of all, let me mention that which angle is required. So we need this angle A, C, and D, like this angle. So to write the expression for this unknown angle, first we will write down the general expression, the size of interior angle of this polygon. So let me take this angle as the interior angle. So we can use this expression or formula to find the size of each interior angle in regular polygon, which is n minus 2 times 180 divided by n. Here n represents the number of sides. Now before calculating or writing the expression, first let's observe this triangle, which is ABC. Like when we join the points A and C, it creates an isosceles triangle because we know that these two sides AB and BC are equal in length because of regular polygon. So when we join AC, this creates an isosceles triangle where the angles, means base angles, will be equal in size. We are supposing these angles as x. And also please observe that this angle means at C means the angle at C is also interior angle of the regular polygon. So if we want to calculate the size of angle ACD, we can subtract the angle x from interior angle C. And also we have created a general expression for the interior angle of this polygon as angle B. So angle B and angle C will be equal in size because of the interior angles of the regular polygons. Now let's figure out the expression for the size of angle x. We know that the sum of angle x and the other angle, which is also x, and angle B is 180 degrees because of the isosceles triangle where the sum of all angles should be 180 degrees. If we further solve it, we get 2 times angle x plus the size of angle B, which we can replace with n minus 2 times 180 divided by n equals 280 degrees. Now we can just shift the other variables or constants on the other side, and we will write 2 times angle x equals 180 minus n minus 2 times 180 divided by n. Now if we solve the right side of the equation, we will get 180n minus n minus 2 times 180 divided by n. And then we will write 2 angle x over there. And further, if I simplify, I will get 2 times angle x equals 180n minus 180n plus 360 degrees. Basically, I have distributed 180 with both of these terms divided by n. Now, if I subtract 180n from 180n, we will get it cancelled. So I will left with 2 times angle x equals 360 degrees divided by n. So for angle x, I will divide both sides by 2. So I will get 360 divided by 2n means 180 divided by n. So this is the general expression for x. Now let's substitute the size of angle x and angle C in this equation to find the expression for angle ACD. We know that angle C and angle B are equal in size because these are the interior angles of regular polygons. So we can replace angle C with n minus 2 times 180 divided by n, and I can replace angle x with 180 divided by n. Now if we solve it by taking the common denominator, so n is the common denominator, so I can distribute 180 with both of these terms here. So I can write 180n minus 360 degrees minus 180. So further, if I simplify it, I will get 180n minus 540 degrees divided by n. So this is the general expression So this is the general expression or equation to find the size of angle ACD, and this expression is in term of n. Now let's proceed to next question. In question number 14, it says in the diagram ABCDEF is a regular hexagon and ABGHI is a regular pentagon. To find the angle HGC, I have provided a bigger shape, like these are two polygons where we can see pentagon and hexagon, and we have to find the angle HGC. So for this purpose, let's extend the side BG, and we will also extend the side HG. So now we can observe here that we need this angle, basically HGC, this one. So to figure out this angle, first let's calculate the size of angle, means interior angle of pentagon. So we know that the size of each interior angle can be found using this formula, and we know there are 5 sides over here, so we will replace n with 5. So 5 take away 2 times 180 divided by 2 will be equals to 108 degrees. Now we will divide the angle HGC into 2 angles, means there will be 2 angles at G into X and Y. So first, to calculate the size of angle X, we can consider a straight line over here, which is the extension of the side BG. Line X, we will subtract 108 degrees from 180, and we will get 72 degrees. Now we have to find the size of angle Y. To calculate Y, first we need to find this angle over there, which we can name with A. To calculate the size of angle A, first we will again consider the interior angle of this pentagon and hexagon at this point. So first let's find this angle over there. Let's call it Z. To calculate Z, we will subtract the size of interior angle of pentagon from the size of interior angle of hexagon. So angle Z will be equals to size of each interior angle of hexagon, size of each interior angle of pentagon. We know the size of each interior angle in pentagon is 108 degrees, and in hexagon, the size of each interior angle will be 120 degrees. We can replace n with 6 over there to easily find the size of each interior angle of regular hexagon. So the difference will be 12 degrees. It means the size of angle Z will be equals to 12 degrees. Now we can easily calculate the size of A, because A is the base angle of this triangle, which is an isosceles triangle, where the both base angles will be equal in size, means this angle will also be equals to the size of angle A. So to calculate A, we will consider a triangle, means the triangle BCG, where the sum of angle A and 12 degrees means Z will be equals to 180. So let's simply solve it. It will be 2A equals 180 minus 12, which will be 168, and 2A. So if we want to calculate the size of A, we will divide both sides by 2. We will get 84 degrees. Now we can easily find the size of angle Y, because we can consider a straight line, which is BG, and to find the size of angle Y, we can subtract the size of angle A from 180, because it's a straight line. So Y will be equals to 180 minus 84. That will be 96 degrees. Now let's finalize our solution, means the size of angle HGC will be equals to the size of angle X and Y, which is 72 plus 96 degrees. And in total, it will be 168 degrees. So the size of angle HGC will be 168 degrees. Thank you. This was all for today.